Okay, well, I want to take a minute today to take a little bit of time to look at our egg plan program. Um, we're diving into the narrative part of business planning right now, as you're well aware, and a big part of why we want to make sure we spend a little bit of time getting our narrative part of our plan down and right. Of course, part of it is that that's how we tell our story to others if we're going to do that. But just coming back to one of the points that Paul Dittman made about the business of farming, and that is that quality of life has to be your number one business goal if you want to be a farmer and be successful at that. And one of the best ways that we can define exactly what quality of life is for us is by writing out our narrative of our business plan, in my view anyway. Your mission, setting a mission statement, having your goals in place, that's a big part of how you can define that, just not just for yourself, but your family and others. What does that look like, and come back to it. It's not very often in our lives, this day and age, that we really have the time and ability to spend a little bit of time really thinking about exactly what that is and what that means. So I encourage you to spend a little bit more time writing your mission statement, rewriting that. I'll put up a couple other resources on our Blackboard site for mission statements and what that would look like in goal setting, and we'll take a look at some of the resources that are a part of Egg Plan if you haven't already found those, as well as building your sustainable business book has some worksheets to work through and guide you on that. I did want to take a little time to go through some of the different resources available in Egg Plan and why you would want to choose. There's several options, 5 different options for business plans in Egg Plan. I guess 4 business plans and 1 personal plan. So we'll take a look at how each one of them differ just a little bit, and you can choose which one is the right one for you and your farm situation. Okay, when you open Egg Plan and you click on, either if it's just your first time, you'll have to start a new plan directly, or if you want to start a new plan, you see that there are these different types that they ask you what type of plan you want. Kind of gives a little description here. One of the biggest things, and I think I made a few comments about this to a couple people, the biggest differences in any of these plans, a lot of it will work no matter what you're doing is a place to create your business plan from and create a narrative, especially the narrative part. One of the biggest differences is that some of the sections are a little different, that different types of agriculture businesses in particular have a few different types that Egg Plan has along with it. And the other part is both the resources, the tips and the resources and the examples are specific to the type of business plan that you're choosing. So having those guidelines and having those resources available is a big part of choosing a close or correct business plan template for you to use. We can take a look at exactly what that looks like. So I created each one of the types of business plans here. So we'll just go ahead and take a look at a commodity plan, the egg commodity plan for a start. Probably looks very similar to all of them right from the beginning. You open it up and you have your cover page. And then the executive summary is going to be pretty similar between all of the business plans as well, where you have your business description and mission statement. But when you start to dig into some of them, the resources get down here, this resources tab gets to be a little bit different for each one. In this particular case, the developing your mission statement goals, that comes right out of our textbook, this building sustainable business textbook that we have. And there's some other resources here from other universities. One of the discussion assignments we had was about finding resources available on the web. If you notice something about these resources that are in here, they're all land-grant universities, which means they're all those universities' extension services. They provide a lot of resources for farming. And if you haven't noticed, I added a resource link to our Blackboard site, and I'll be adding in some of the resources that I've collected over the years from different extension land-grant universities and their extension services that are related to farming and specifically to the business aspects of farming. But one thing, as you're looking around the web and you're looking for resources, a good place to try to find that is from extension services around the country. Some of them are better than others at different aspects of farming. For instance, Iowa State has a very good business program. Their egg decision maker website kit is a very good one. I'll link that up on our website. University of Minnesota has a good business planning. Of course, they're the ones who created this tool. Purdue is decent with business planning things. Wisconsin doesn't have a lot of resources around the specifics of business planning, but they're specialized in production aspects of many of the different egg production systems. So if you need resources around nutrient management, of course, for those of you in the soils class, we use the SNAP Plus software, which is a nutrient management planning software, but goes even deeper if you let it into a soil and crop management software as well. And of course, we'll get more into that in other classes. So just a little sidebar on that, on the resources and things available. And again, as I mentioned before, there's different samples that are in here. So if you're stuck on what a particular section is and you're wondering what that would look like, there are different samples in here. The tips button here does a good job of telling you exactly what should be in each section. And we definitely want to be working on our mission statement and goals, as I mentioned before. The plan summary, you can work on business descriptions more or less the same from the executive summary to the section of business description, although you start to really break out in more detail what it is exactly that your farm is and what that looks like. Okay, and we'll get into the other aspects of this business planning thing as we get into the financials and perhaps some of the marketing things in this semester, but definitely we'll get into the financial plan part of it. As Paul was talking about those tools a little earlier, we're going to look at the balance sheet and income statement, developing enterprise budgets and cash flow, both a cash flow statement, annual cash flow analysis, as well as developing your monthly cash flow planning tools as we go throughout this semester. But right now, I'd really like to have you keep working on the narrative part and get that hammered out so you can define your quality of life. Take a look at one other of the business plans. The small business plan is just a little bit different. Again, it starts out pretty close to the same here in the executive summary. You start to get a little different in some of the history, but again, if you look at the tips, the resources that are available, samples, it's going to be a whole different thing. They created a sample of a meat, a butcher shop that is expanding and growing. So I guess a couple of you are looking at using other than farming tools or businesses, and this might be a better plan for you for those. If you're a commodity farmer or doing the value added, the resources in those would be a little bit better way to go on the other parts. So as you keep working through this, keep driving home on right now for the next week or so, another week or 2, we're going to keep driving on the setting a mission statement and goals, getting that narrative in good order, and then we'll start to transition into some of the financial aspects as we go throughout the semester. But do take advantage of this opportunity to really reflect on where you're at in your life and where you want to go with this, and use this opportunity as a time to lay out some goals and a mission that will help you. I will share my own mission statement on the Blackboard site and maybe through a little video as well. And we'll keep trying to use these videos, so hopefully they're a good way that work well for you. If they are, please let me know. I'd be glad to hear about that. If you have any questions, by all means, email or hop on those discussion boards and post away.